Good day. Welcome to Legal Practice N5. My name is Mr. HD, my man. Today we'll unpack and discuss the legal profession. So we'll start with the role and function of the legal profession. The legal system is the foundation of an ordered society. If you want order, then you'll have or you'll implement the legal system. Without the legal system, there's no order. Whether you buy a car or rent a house, you cannot avoid encountering a contract. When you buy a car, there is a contract that you need to sign. There needs to be a contractual agreement. You and the person that's selling the car needs to reach to an agreement or a consensus. No one is exempt from the law. So no one is above the law, or there's no one who can say, I don't follow the laws. Even the presidents are expected to follow the law. Even the congressmen, congresswomen are expected to follow the law. So the legal system in South Africa has certain prohibitions, which is we must not steal, commit murder, rape, etc. So we're not allowed to steal. If you steal, there will be punishment. There will be a punishment. What's the punishment? The punishment will be prison, jail sentence. Or we can call it now. You go to the correctional service, correctional facility. You commit murder is the same thing, right? You go to prison. You'll go to, if you're in Gauteng, or let me just say Johannesburg rather, you commit murder, you'll find yourself at the Johannesburg Correctional Service, which is now, which was known as Sun City Prison. Rape, etc., is the same thing. If you rape someone, whether you rape a man or a woman, it's the same fate. It also enables us or gives us the ability to perform certain general activities, like getting married. So when you get married, we have to follow the law. In South Africa, there is customary law that we follow sometimes, and especially when people pay lobola. When you pay lobola in other countries, maybe they call it dowry. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly. If you pay lobola, it means that by law you are married in community of property in South Africa, to be precise, because I don't want to mislead people. Maybe if we have our international students, in the South African context, that's how it is. So managing a business. So when you manage a business, you need to get into contracts. Opening a bank account or buying a house. So when you also open a bank account, there is a contract that you need to sign. So thus, order in society and in the country can only be maintained if the government has certain legal principles in place. So we need these legal principles in order to maintain order. Who should enforce these principles? It's the government. One speaker would say, where there's no law, there's no crime. Attorneys, advocates, and legal advisors. People who undergo legal training qualify for a number of posts and career opportunities. They can become legal advisors for businesses, public prosecutors, legal secretaries, etc. So we'll unpack these professions one by one, because that's our job. However, in South Africa, only an attorney and an advocate are qualified to act as legal practitioners, may have their own private practices, and may appear in court. So it means that only in South Africa, only attorneys and advocates have the right to litigate, so which means to represent someone in a court of law. So someone who studies paralegal, someone who studies legal secretary, they don't have a right to litigate, so they cannot stand or represent someone in a court of law, but they can work for law firms. Then there are the people who work in attorneys' offices and those who act as professional bodies to ensure that legal practitioners act honestly and in accordance with their work ethics. So there are these regulatory bodies, that makes sure that everyone complies with the work. And also in these offices, where attorneys offices, or can call them law firms, in the law firms we find that there are different professionals that work in the law firm. So we don't only find attorneys in the law firms. The attorney. So now let us define what's an attorney. In terms of the Attorneys Act 53 of 1979, an LLB degree is prescribed legal qualification for admission as an attorney. So an LLB degree, it's Bachelor of Laws. This is Bachelor of Law. So you need to complete it first before you could consider being an attorney. But that's just you can say just one of the it's a prerequisite. You still need to do something, right? So on completion of an LLB degree, so an LLB degree it's a 4-year degree normally that you do, and unless you go to other institutions that if you have a qualification that's relevant to law, then you'll do it for another 3 years, or if you start with BA law. So on completion of an LLB degree, you cannot immediately start practicing as an attorney. So you can't just from after you've received your LLB degree, you can't just work as an attorney, right? Because you need to serve articles, so which means you need to work under in a law firm under a tutelage of senior attorney. Then that's when you'll be admitted on the roll. Your name then will be on the roll. So you need to serve, articles. So here's an advocate. I will check on your picture there. This man is advocate Tefu, who participated in that case of slaying Senzo Meiwa, the former Bafana goalkeeper and captain, and also Orlando Pirates captain, Senzo Meiwa. So this man also participated in that court case. So the prescribed academic qualification for an advocate is an LLB degree. So it's the same. You still need a Bachelor of Laws degree. The Supreme Court ensures that these graduates practice as advocates without undergoing further practical training. So it's not the same as being an attorney. Here, once you obtain your LLB degree or Bachelor of Laws, then the Supreme Court will make sure that you become an advocate. So the graduate simply has to bring an application to the court as soon as he or she is admitted, his name or her name appears on the roll of attorneys. So you'll apply and then your name will appear on the roll of attorney. So if someone is lying to you saying that they are an attorney, you can go and check because the names of attorneys are there on the roll. Advocates are members of the bar, so which is a type of association, for example, the Johannesburg Advocacy. The legal advisor. Legal advisors usually have the same qualifications as attorneys and advocates. For example, an LLB degree, which is Bachelor of Laws, but they chose not to work for a private practice or start their own practice. So normally these are people who, legal advisors, these are people who can work for different institutions, can work for the South African Police as a legal advisor, you can work for an insurance company, you can work for different companies in the corporate world, and also you can work for a law firm. They become legal advisors for large businesses instead. Remember, each and every business would have its own legal team. So if they don't, then they're expected maybe to get it from outside, but we outsource. In other words, the legal advisors do not necessarily have the practical training qualification that practical attorneys and advocates have. So with the LLB degree, you could just become a legal advisor because you don't necessarily need to apply also to the High Court or to apply to a law firm, where you are going to work under the tutelage of another senior attorney. But they occupy a senior position in a business. So you need to understand that these people occupy, a senior position in a business. So they are professional controlling bodies. A client expects an attorney or advocate to be honest and reliable at all times. So we expect the attorney or advocate to be honest and reliable at all times, because if they are not, then we're going to have problems. Imagine under a position of trust that everyone is signed to say that I'm willing as a client. Let's say I'm a client. I was accused of there are allegations of me. I'm being accused of killing someone, right? So which means that if I tell the attorney or the advocate how it happened, he he cannot go around talking about how I killed that person. Hence, certain professional governing bodies were established to maintain the professional work ethics of the profession, so that we do have the bodies that regulate, the profession. And also, it's not about criminal cases or criminal matters. Sometimes you find that an attorney or an advocate takes money from a trust, from someone's estate. He steals and they take it. Now it's his. No, that's wrong. We can report them. So there's the Law Society of South Africa. So the Law Society of South Africa, LSSA, is an umbrella organization and acts as the mouthpiece of the attorney profession. So they are there to safeguard the interest of both the attorneys and also the general public. Its aim is to look after the interests of members of the profession as well as the public in general. All practicing attorneys must belong to the law society. So everyone must belong to the law society if you are practicing. Each province has its own law society, which keeps a record of all the attorneys in that province. The list is called the roll. So it's the same as the roll that you find in the High Court about the names of advocates. The Bar Association also have the Bar Association. Advocates are members of the Bar Association. This association keeps a vigilant eye on the activities of advocates and take disciplinary steps against them. So it is vigilant. They are there to safeguard the interests of the advocates and also to look onto them. Not necessarily to scrutinize them, but to it's not scrutiny, but to somehow make sure that they comply. Because if you are scrutinized, you'll complain and say, "Why are we scrutinized? We don't want that. We don't want to feel like we are being micromanaged." So here's the telephone techniques and manners. The way in which you answer a phone is one of the most important advertisements for a firm. So you need this is called the telephone etiquette. You need to have good manners. You need to state the name of the law firm. So for example, see here say answer immediately and politely, providing the name of the firm so that someone knows who they are. That makes them to confirm. It's sort of like a confirmation that, oh, I'm calling the right law firm. You understand? This is the right company. So write down the time, date, and the name of the person for whom the call was intended. Write messages clearly, indicating the right telephone number. So if someone leaves a message, you need to write down the time. You need to write down the name of the person to whom the message was intended to. File the information in the client's file for later reference. So if there's something that you need to write, you need to file it. When you phone a client, you also have to file a note. Sometimes we do forget. I don't think you are like a computer. You are going to remember everything. So here's bookkeeping. Attorneys are legally compelled to keep record of all monies received and paid, and the books are audited annually. So books are audited in order to maintain order. Any error or mismanagement of the trust account can lead to a complaint being filed against the attorney at the Law Society of South Africa. There are these lawyers who would steal people's money. So they need to be reported to the Law Society of South Africa. The Law Society of South Africa will investigate the complaint, and they may even strike the attorneys from the roll of attorneys. So they'll remove that attorney's name on the roll because he is acting in bad faith, which is mala fide. So thank you very much for attending our virtual class. Let us discuss on our group WhatsApp group platform. If there's any challenge, feel free to send a message on the group platform. Thank you.